Bonnies kept us guessing until the final few seconds against UB, but Jalen Adaway's late-game heroism lifts the Bonnies over Buffalo on Saturday. The team's win streak stands at 2, but the injury to Kyle Lofton at the end of their win against Coppin State could prove detrimental. We bring you the latest on his injury status and analyze how the Bonnies move forward without him. Plus, the women look to bounce back after a tough loss to a strong Penn State team. BBN starts right now. Hello and welcome to Bonnies Basketball Now. I'm Rich Williams, and tonight I'm joined by SBU-TV sports reporters Matt Shalou and Ryan McSpadden. You saw it in the open, and you'll see it again later in the show. Jalen Adaway, ice in his veins, hitting a game-winning three against UB Saturday to lift the Bonnies to a 68-65 victory. But we're going to start earlier in the week with Coppin State Wednesday night. Coppin State, a MEAC team, ran all over the Bonnies in the first half. Their star guard, Jesse Zarzuela, went off for 27 in the game. He averages 15 this season. Adaway had a rough night. Flight 33, only 4 from 13 from the field, but still managed to scrape together 13 points. Dom Welch, usually a three-point wizard, still having a hard time making a splash in non-conference play. He only went 3 for 10 from behind the arc. AKC was a spark coming off the bench for Shun, scoring 10 points, but he only sunk 3 of his 7 tries. The Bonnies scraped together a winning mentality coming out from halftime. However, they still only beat the Eagles by 12. SBU was favored by 24 before the tip. Going into the game against the University of Buffalo, the Bonnies played host to rival Buffalo Bulls in a sold-out Riley Center. The Bonnies playing without Kyle Lofton for the first time in his career. Quadri Adams started in his place.
Yeah, I thought Adams did a really nice job filling in for Kyle. He made some high-energy plays late in the game, and his defense was sharp throughout.
In the first half, Oshuni was crashing the rim with these dunks. Playing only 26 minutes, he had 14 points and 7 rebounds.
Yeah, Oshun did his thing, anchored the paint well on defense. Getting all those rebounds was huge, helped the team out in a big way, and his dunks really fired up the crowd.
Linton Brown was also a huge factor in the Bonnies scoring. He hit a few threes. Splitting time with Adams, he had 10 points and shot 50% from behind the arc. This was good enough to land him as the team's third leading scorer behind Adaway and Oshun. The Bonnies would lead by 6 at the break.
It was really encouraging to see the Bonnies take a first half lead for once, and I think it starts with the defense. The defense was struggling the past 2 games, and this half they really locked in. It gave them a 6-point cushion.
The Bonnies started out the second half strong, with Quadri Adams setting the tone with this transition dunk, just 2 minutes into the half. The Bonnies led by as much as 13, but the turnovers and missed opportunities let the Bulls stay in it.
Yeah, they really let the Bulls creep back into this one, and you kind of got a weird, unsettling feeling going down the stretch, but I guess you'll give us what happened next.
Yes, sir. The Bulls came back with 3 consecutive threes to tie the game with under 30 seconds left. But Jalen Adaway hits this buzzer-beating three to lift the Bonnies over the Bulls 68-65.
Yeah, it was great to see for Jalen, and this was a shot against, I believe it was Dayton last year. He missed one, and you could tell he was upset. He sat there after the game, and it really motivated him, and he worked really hard to make that shot, so it was great to see for him and the team. And yeah, it was really great to see the defense step up in this one. The last 2 games, they gave up 90 and 80 points, and that's very uncharacteristic of this Bonnies team. We're used to seeing the Bonnies win games in like the 68-60 type range where they're only giving up like 50 to 60 points. And this game, the defense really locked in. Those final few minutes were tough, but Adaway with the clutch shot. One play that I really liked late too, it was right before the final 3 minutes, was Dom Welch. He played defense on Williams there, forced a turnover, and then the next play on offense hit a 3. So from an energy level, it was really great to see the Bonnies step up there. And I believe this is a massive win without Kyle Lofton. This team showed just how good they can be, and it was a great sign.
Yeah, and Matt, Jalen Adaway has been huge on the glass this season for this team. How do you think that's helped the Bonnies at both ends of the court?
Well, I just think rebounding is such a big part of basketball at any level. The more boards you grab, the more you really kind of get to determine the pace of the game. Whoever wins the glass usually wins the game. And having him down there, rebounding the way he is, helping out Oshun, it has been a huge help for this team.
And I just talked about it a little bit ago, but what changes defensively did they make that you really liked in this game?
Well, I noticed on Saturday they seemed to be playing a lot more aggressively defensively than they were Wednesday against Coppin State. The on-ball defense was fantastic. That series you mentioned from Welch, guarding Williams as he went to the hoop, that was electric. Ball rolled out of bounds. He was pumped up, goes down and hits the three. Offenses feed off good defense. That's exactly what happened there. The better defense they play, the better they'll be.
Yeah, and the Bonnies looked for some help from their bench Saturday, more so than they have earlier this season. Who off the bench really impressed you on Saturday?
I think Linton Brown was fantastic, just transferring in here from community college. He hit 2 big threes in this game. He had 7 points, I think, in the first half, and then he hit a big 3 late. His 10 points were a much-needed spark off the bench for a team that's really needed a spark off the bench the last year or two, so that's big to have and went a long way on Saturday.
And what are some ways Jaron Holmes impacted this game despite his 3 for 17 shooting?
Yeah, like you said, he struggled shooting, but as a point guard, he did his job. 8 assists to 1 turnover, played fantastic defense, was a fantastic leader in the huddle, I'd assume, just as he always is, and without him, they're not even sniff that game.
Yeah, and a quick update on Kyle Lofton's injury after he suffered a high ankle sprain at the end of last Wednesday's game against Coppin State. Saturday night, he was spotted on the Bonaventure bench wearing a boot, but in high spirits as the Bonnies battled to victory. High ankle sprains typically take 3 to 6 weeks for recovery, meaning he could potentially miss the Bonnies conference opener against George Washington on December 30th. One thing is for certain, the Bonnies in the Atlantic 10 Conference are getting more attention than ever before. Andy Farrell is the special assistant to the head coach of Dayton's men's basketball team, and SBU-TV Sports' Mike Oliver spoke with him about this emerging publicity and where it starts.
Do you believe there are any particular challenges associated with coming from a smaller conference?
10 years ago, the answer would be yes, it's probably more of a challenge. But now, like, the NBA guys, they don't care, like, what school you play for. They care about, are you good enough? And then do you contribute to winning?
So you've seen our Bonnies play a little bit. You've seen our stars. We've got Oshun. What do you like about them as draft candidates individually?
His defensive presence, his rebounding rates. He may not be scoring the most points for the team or anything like that, but some of those other things that are really, really valuable to the team, he's a great, great piece. You look at Kyle, like the first thing I think about him is like, that dude is a competitor. Like you look at the fire that he has, I just love watching him play from an offensive standpoint, from a defensive standpoint. He's proven that he can lead a team. It's going to continue to raise some eyebrows because they're winning at a high level against good competition. It's always exciting to see guys in our league be really, really successful. People realize that the A10 is a fantastic league. It's a league to be reckoned with. Continue the success. Love what you guys do. Wish you guys all the best of luck, except for that one day that we play each other on January 2nd, and then hopefully in the A10 tournament. But besides that, I'll root for you guys 300 and some days of the year.
High praise from the Dayton staff that are well acquainted with Atlantic 10 play. The Bonnies, fresh off their win over Buffalo, will look to continue for strong play from their stars. And after the break, our analysts will break down Jalen Adaway's game-winning 3 over UB and discuss the areas where each star needs to improve, aka what should be on their Christmas list this cheery basketball season. This is BBN.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to BBN. Let's take a look at the game-winning shot from Saturday night. What do you see, Ryan?
So here, you're just dribbling out the clock here. You have 10 seconds.
Setting things up.
Al Schmidt sets it up. You have Shun setting a pick, and they go to double Holmes, which frees up Adaway here. Boom. And this is a play that they had earlier in the game too, where he missed a shot. I love that they went back to it here because, as you could see, he was wide open, a great look, and now it's just raucous at the end. But I love everything here from, as you said.
Yeah, like you said, the key on this play is that double. That's what frees him up. Boom, he hit it this time. You mentioned it earlier in the show, the miss he had against Dayton last year with an opportunity to tie it. He's been waiting for an opportunity like that, and there we are.
I think this really fueled him too, because as you can tell, he was ready for this moment. He sat there last year, he was upset, he worked all season for a shot like this, and you can just tell the fans going crazy. It really put them in a jolly mood.
Speaking of jolly, let's transition into what some of the Bonnie's basketball players want on their Christmas list this year. Starting with Mr. Kyle Lofton, and I think the obvious thing to say is he wants good health. He wants that ankle to heal, wants health to remain for the rest of the season, but also he wants his teammates to step up around him. He wants to continue to be a leader. I don't think there's many problems when it comes to Kyle Lofton.
As for Oshun, I think he just wants to continue to get stronger, get tougher, because he's going to face tougher competition as we get into A10 play. And I know Saturday he avoids Sonogu for UConn, but what Oshun's always had trouble with is foul trouble. So if he can get stronger, he'll be able to be more of a force down low. And I believe this will really help him because we already know how great he is.
And for Mr. Holmes, he wants to just stay competitive, stay aggressive on defense. He wants his shooting to improve. From last game, it was a little down, but like we said, he stepped into that point guard role, played great, 8 assists to 1 turnover. He just wants to find a shot again, which he will, continue to play good defense, continue to be a leader, and this team will go far. This past Friday night, the women's basketball team was defeated by the 5-1 Kent State Golden Flashes in the Riley Center. The Flashes came out shooting early and often as you watched Katie Shoemate drain 2 of her threes that led to her game-high 19 points. The Bonnies battled back, though, as both Ajane Johnson and Tori Harris turned in strong efforts. No let-up from the Golden Flashes, however, as Lindsay Thal drained this one to put them back up 7. The Bonnies were able to get within 6 with this Tiana Johnson 3, but were ultimately put away by the Golden Flashes in the closing minutes, losing 64-53. Coming up, a surprise virtual visit from a dance phenom and the biggest Bonnies fans you'll ever see. He'll give us his prediction of the UConn game, and we'll go rapid fire on some final thoughts. This is BBN.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Welcome back to Bonnie's Basketball Now. We're going to get into some predictions now for the Bonnie's game on Saturday against UConn. Matt, Ryan, what are we thinking for Saturday?
I expect a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. I'm excited to see the Bonnies face off against a ranked opponent because, like I said, if they win, they should be able to get back in. The injuries for both teams bode huge. I think that makes the two teams very even right now, and it's going to be a really good game to watch on Saturday.
I agree. I think the injuries to UConn's Martin and Sonogo are going to play key. I think it's going to be tight late, as you said, low-scoring battle, and I think Shoon's going to take over late. The Bonnies are going to get a key win, 63-56 here, and they're going to get back in the top 25.
I agree. Injuries are going to play a big factor in this one. I think Holmes and Welch are going to bounce back from the field in this game. And something interesting to note, the last time Mark Schmidt faced UConn head coach Dan Hurley was when the Bonnies upset a 16th ranked Rhode Island team back in 2018. I like the Bonnies in this one, 71-68. And now we're going to go to another prediction, but this time from St. Bonaventure student icon Dom Greco, also known as Captain Beer. Here's what he had to say about Saturday's game.
What's up? Bonnies versus UConn. Bonnies win 68-60. Let's go Bonnies!
Thanks, Dom. Now it's time for some final thoughts. Ryan, what do the Bonnies need to do to avoid being susceptible to turnovers? They had 15 Saturday night, including allowing 11 steals to UB.
To me, it's pretty simple. They need to handle the press better. As you saw in those final 3 minutes, they were up, I want to say it was 11 with 3:04 to go. And UB was making some shots, but they got back in the game because they could not handle the press. So they need to handle the press better, especially with Lofton out. Teams are going to see that as a weakness, and they're going to attack it. So it all starts, for me, with the press.
Okay. And Matt, at the same time, the Bonnies only had 3 steals themselves. what more can they do to put more defensive pressure on the other team?
As I mentioned earlier in the show, they played a lot more aggressively defensively on Saturday from Wednesday. And I'm a big believer in if you keep that sort of thing up, the steals will come. You'll see that the pressures and the traps will come, steals come from that. I think if they just keep that up and don't let that down, that they'll come with that.
And guys, what do you guys think Quadri Adams can take from starting in the UB game? He played 20 minutes Saturday night, splitting time with Linton Brown.
I think he could take away a lot of confidence from this game. He made some key plays late in the game, and I thought he handled the ball well, did a good job pacing the offense. So for me, I think it's the confidence. I think he can gain a lot of confidence, especially from a win like this, and I'm interested to see how he fares this next week.
Yeah, in the first couple weeks, he's sparred a few minutes from the players, as we've seen at the guard position. So, the fans, they know his name. Now, as he starts, they really know who he is. He definitely, with that, gets more confidence, like you said, and he'll start to feel more comfortable and really settle in over the next 2 or 3 weeks, however long Welcome's out. I think he'll perform greatly.
And there's all kinds of pictures and murals in the Riley Center. So that moment where the fans ran onto the court after the win, do you think that could be a picture put up on the walls of the Riley Center someday?
No, I don't think the school's happy with it. It was something students decided to do in the moment. Maybe it's a little different if the team wins a championship, but as of right now, no.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say no as well. Like you said, it was all a spur of the moment type thing. It was the way they won the game, that's why they did it. Not really a court stormable game, a game where we were favored in, we came out and won. But just the way it happened, it was fun, but I don't know if it's well-worthy just yet.
And finally, what key thing do the Bonnies need to do as they prepare to face Loyola Maryland Wednesday night?
I mean, I've stressed it all night. It's the defense. It starts and ends with defense. This team is at its best when it's winning games 60-50 or 70-60 games like that, and that's the style of game they played Saturday. That's the style of games they must continue to play if they want to keep this winning streak up.
For me, Saturday night, I think, was the first time they came out strong in the Riley Center and really kind of controlled the pace. They didn't have to play from behind and catch up. You need to come out like that again against Loyola and keep up the same intensity and aggression I've been talking about all night.
All right. Thanks for being with us. For Matt Shalou and Ryan McSpedden, I'm Rich Williams. This is Bonnie's Basketball Now.